But the problem with this test has been around for what? 50 plus years?
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
It's been around for a little while.
Almost as long as you, man.
Hey, oh, what a shot. Ow. Can you take that knife out of my back? Yeah, so probably as long as me. Absolutely, he's right.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Hot Mix, an InstroTek podcast. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Maurice.
And today, it is
finally
time.
Yes, we're here.
MiST2 is with us, and we are going to talk all about it. So let's get right into it.
Let's do it. Yeah, this has been long coming. We've been waiting to release this product. It came out at the beginning of the year, and we've been trying to do a review on it. So this is it. We're going to go over all the features, what this thing does, how it's applicable in the asphalt lab, and talk a little bit about moisture damage.
So when it's actually running, when it's actually testing, what is going on in there?
I love this question.
What is it creating?
This is a good question because this is my favorite part about the MiST, right?
Let's do it.
What does it actually do?
Right.
It looks like you have a carburetor on top of a box, right?
Oh, this kind of looks like a 6-speed Hemi with a pinball grip.
Exactly. You know what I mean? No, but it's not. It's actually very useful. It's a tank that's here, and if you can help me, maybe just throw it up.
Absolutely.
Throw it up.
Yeah, let's throw it up.
So this tank is where your asphalt cores are going to go. You're going to fill the baffles, what we call baffles, not carburetor. You're going to fill the baffles of water and put your cores in here and fill your tank full of water. And what we're trying to do here is simulate what happens on the roadways, right? What's the number one complaint about a roadway when it starts deteriorating, or what's the number one thing that happens on roadways? That,
potholes.
like potholes. We hate potholes, right? It's the number one thing you see.
We do.
You see the road breaking apart, parking lots breaking apart, and it's always caused by a pothole. And that's the reason for that is moisture damage. So that is what we're testing with here. How resistant is the asphalt core to that moisture damage? And how do we do that? Well, we use the same mechanism that is used on the roadway. When it rains, the water settles over the top of the roadway, right?
Yep.
You have a large truck, like a big semi, right? Or a dump truck. They're going to do their work, using our roadways for what they're meant for,
Push
right?
pull.
So you have the tire hit that wet pavement. It's going to push that water into the pavement and then release it back out.
Yep.
Because there is some surface texture on every pavement that's out there.
Absolutely.
And that mechanism of pushing and pulling is what the MiST replicates. So that is why it's much better than what we have now. What's the current test right now for moisture sensitivity?
T283.
283, right? The TSR, better known as the
Put me on
TSR.
the spot there. I was there. I made it.
The tensile strength ratio test, right?
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. It's super popular here in the United States and around the world, really. But the problem with this test has been around for what? 50 plus years?
Yeah, it's been around for a while.
It's been around for a little while.
Almost as long as you, man.
Hey, oh, what a shot. Ow. Can you take that knife out of my back? Yeah, so probably as long as me. Absolutely, he's right. But anyway, it's been around for a really long time. It hasn't changed in forever. We still have to use 3 cores or 6 cores to do the test. This mechanism is actually active. It's doing something. Instead of just letting water cores sit in water, it uses some of the same mechanisms, same parameters of the TSR, but in an active system testing both for cohesion and adhesion. Now ask me what that's about.
So I'm assuming that it's about going to be how the sample is affected, but go into it.
Yeah, exactly. So when you're testing for moisture damage, right, you want to test a couple things. You want to test how cohesive is your core, meaning how well does it stay together during testing or when it's out in the field in place. And you also want to test how adhesive your bitumen, the binder, the stuff that sticks all the aggregates and the sand and everything together. How good is it to stay together? You want to test for both of those. This is the only machine that actually does that.
Yeah.
And the way it does that is by forcing water into or pumping water in and out of that core. And through that mechanism, you're either going to have an adhesion failure, meaning that the aggregate and bitumen didn't stick together, and you're going to notice that in a tensile strength test, where you break it apart and see how strong it is.
Yeah.
And then your cohesive, you're going to notice that in just a simple swell or volume increase of the core. 2 simple tests that we already do. Every lab does them, right, Anthony? You've been in them, you've seen them doing it.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of how this thing works.
So essentially, you're going to be pushing, pulling, and breaking bonds in there.
Yes.
Is what you're saying.
Yes, that's exactly. A little bit of a torture test with some science and a lot of engineering behind it. And to be honest, we have tons of research papers on this machine.
Yeah.
And every one of them have given it a good recommendation for the MiST and the way it tests for moisture sensitivity. So huge level up on how we actually test our roadways and make sure they're not going to get what? the big potholes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You got me there. He covered for me.
I am testing him today, all right? He doesn't know his stuff.
No, this is good. This is good.
So this is it. We're going to go over all the features, what this thing does, how it's applicable in the asphalt lab, and talk a little bit about moisture damage.
Great. Awesome. Well, let's first kind of cover what comes with it when you get the machine.
Yes. So we unbox it. Obviously, you get the full machine here. You get the tank, all the screws to screw down the lid, everything you see here, part of the machine, right? What accessories you get? You're gonna get a big beaker. This is gonna fill your tank with water, so you can transfer water right to it.
Yeah.
Probably already have one of these, but it doesn't hurt to have another one in the lab, right?
Absolutely.
Never hurt to have one of
safe than
these.
sorry.
Yes, you're gonna get your power cord. Now this thing does use water, so you want to make sure that it's protected and you have a power source that's protected, water resistant in case you have a spill. Very, very safe.
Got it.
Got
Perfect.
that.
Yep.
And then you're also going to get one of these.
Oh, whoopee cushion.
One of these. I don't know what this thing does. No, this is one of the whoopee cushions or bladders that you get with it. So we'll explain what this thing does in a bit and why it's important. But basically, this is how we create water pressure and pore pressure and all the pressure inside the tank. So you get multiples of these. These do many, many tests. You only need to replace them every once in a while. So you get some of these.
And that's pore pressure, not peer pressure. Just so you don't confuse the two.
Two different things. Yeah, absolutely. Don't want to confuse those. And then finally, you get one of these. This is the tank where these are the platforms you put your cores on, right?
Perfect.
So once you load your cores in there, you get a couple of these to be able to add multiple cores or just have one or two or three cores in there. We'll talk about that in a minute too.
Yeah, perfect.
So that's pretty much everything you get with the system. Ready to go, ready to start testing.
Well, I'm going to grab my spec sheet here so we
Let's
can
do it.
talk a little bit about the new features that moving from the MiST1 into the MiST2. So I know that I see that we got something that's very quiet here.
Very quiet. Very quiet. Let me show you how quiet.
All right.
I'm going to power it up here, and what you're going to hear is just a very small fan in the back that just cools the system. But we went from a hydraulic system on the MiST1, on the original MiST, right? And we're going to show you kind of what that one looks like here in a minute. And that system was very loud. Why? Because we use a hydraulic pump. That piston and the hydraulic motor all made a lot of noise, right, Anthony?
It sure did.
And the thing about noise in the lab is that there's a lot of smart engineers trying to do good work, right, for our roads.
Absolutely.
And you don't want to hear this really loud machine. And that was almost one of the major feedback from our customers was like, hey, we love the system, but can you make it a little quieter?
Yeah.
So now the system, when it's running, it literally will sound like this. You can barely hear it.
Yeah.
Now, there is a pneumatic pump in there that will fill a chamber with air to run the machine and run the bladder, fill the bladder full of air. But it only turns on for about a minute, minute and a half, then it shuts off, it fills that tank, and then the machine keeps running.
Okay.
So it's very, very quiet. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's one of the best features now.
I think one of the other things that people always give us feedback on is that they want more space in their labs.
Of course. You go to a lab where you look around, it's crammed with stuff.
Always.
Especially some of these production labs, you know, they got a double wide trailer sometimes, sometimes something a little bit bigger, but the space is always at a premium.
It is.
So we had to make this thing more benchtop.
Yes.
We had to make it smaller, and we did that. And this system has all the same features, all the same benefits of the older one, just in a smaller package.
Yeah, and I mean, so it's lighter.
Much lighter, yeah.
It fits on your bench, and the dimensions are all smaller on the top end.
Absolutely,
too.
yeah. I mean, we can't pick it up, right?
Oh, take
look
it
at
easy.
that.
Somebody didn't skip
my own
bicep
strength.
day.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do some working out for me.
That's good, man.
But yeah, so it's much lighter, as you saw. But yeah, you can carry it around the lab if you need to clean around it or move it to another location, or maybe you need to move it to another lab that's doing some of this testing.
Right.
You know, you can carry it, put it in the back of a truck, take it over, and do your testing there.
Okay, so diving into more of the technical side of what you can use, what size pills you can use, what size cores you're going to be using in this. So what are those sizes?
So yeah, so I think we have some examples there, Anthony. So you can actually put two different size cores. Now you got to get your workout in.
Yeah, baby.
So here we go. We have they're both 150 millimeter, but I think I know you can do 4 inch too.
4 inch or 6
inch. 100
yep.
millimeter. And then the thickness is about 95 millimeter and about a 64 millimeter core.
Correct.
You can use gyratory and cores from the roadway. So either one will work. And you can get up to 3 of the 64 and 2 of the 95 thickness cores in here. So
one thing we want to really just kind of do is summarize everything that we just covered. So I think the first most important thing is it's quiet.
It's quiet. Yes.
The second thing is it's lightweight, especially if you're Maurice and you have the biceps. And
exactly.
it's benchtop now, so it can go right in your lab, create a lot more space in your lab.
And the fact that it's really one of the best ways to test for moisture sensitivity. I mean, it has been proven. The system has been out for years. The first one came out back in the 2010s. The new one just came out this year. And so we have tons of research. We have tons of information on the system. If you need to get at that, please contact Anthony,
absolutely.
call anybody at InstroTek. They'll be happy to share it with you. You can see what studies have been done for binders, for additives. There's a ton of stuff we're adding to asphalt. And people want to know, how well does it resist against moisture?
Absolutely.
Fibers is another huge one.
Yeah.
Fibers is one that people want to test and know for. So there's just a ton of benefits to the system and different asphalt mixtures and types you can put in here to test for moisture sensitivity.
We'll call in and you can quiz me too, and we'll cover it all over the phone. It'll be great. So thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. We really, really appreciate it. We are so excited about the MiST2 and having the ability to show you a little bit more about it today. And just call in if you have any questions, and just remember, keep it hot.
Keep it real.
Keep it real hot.